Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker, the Honorable Minister of Railways, Communications, Electronics and Information Technology, Shri Ashwini Vaishnaw. He will deliver his vision statement through an insightful presentation that will map the way Bharat will connect in the next decade. Ladies and gentlemen, the engineer of the quantum leap, Shri Ashwini Vaishnaw.
Great. So I'll speak for about 15 minutes. We'll go through very rapidly, through a very quick, basically trying to understand where the tech landscape is today and what we are thinking. That's what we discuss in the next 15 minutes. Friends, you are all aware of the India stack. You are all aware of how our Prime Minister has democratized technology by creating a structure in a public-private partnership where the big tech and the startups, large enterprises and the small entrepreneurs, the rich and the haves, and the low income and the have-nots, they all have access to the same level of technology that we should all aspire for. That kind of inclusive thing was possible because of the India stack, and this stack is growing day by day. I'll come to the conceptual point, how this concept was created. We have seen in many countries, some big tech companies, they monopolize technology. We have also seen another geography where the government does everything. This is a very unique case in India because of our Prime Minister's clear thinking process that neither should we leave our destiny in the hands of a few big tech, nor should government be present everywhere. We should try to create a public-private partnership. So this example you have seen in multiple things, multiple times, but I want to explain the thought process behind it. This platform of UPI has been created by a public investment through a public company. To this join the banks, digital identity, about 50 million merchants, hundreds and thousands of startups, e-commerce companies, enterprises, and about 43 crore people, 437 million users today have already joined it. You see the structure. In this structure, anybody can start a payment company today. You want to start a payment company, you can start it today. Because of this structure, the cost of a transaction has come down from about $10 to a few cents. 800-900 रुपए से कुछ 1-2 रुपए पे cost of transaction has come down, and that has made possible a whole lot of services, whole lot of new innovations which were unthinkable in the past. And the spread is amazing. Everywhere, wherever you see the technology, the use of Digital India stack, the DPI is today practically every part of the country. Now I'll come to a point how this combination, how this Digital India stack is today providing multiple solutions. I'll come to the digital credit. Now digital credit, okay, so when you want to give a credit to somebody, what do you need? You basically need three fundamental things. One, whether the person can repay, what is the repaying capacity. Two, what are the documents that need to be checked. Three, whether the person is actually the person you are talking to, right? Identity. So when we look at this, you look at the right hand side of this. Payment history, the cash flow, transactions, that becomes the collateral if you don't have any other collateral, right? Somebody who doesn't have a property or some gold to put as collateral in loan can today create, using the UPI, a cash flow history, payment history, that becomes the collateral. Use Aadhaar structure for getting the identity verified, totally digital. All document verification can be done on DigiLocker, right? All the three things which are needed, whether a person can pay back or not, whether the person is exactly the person you are talking to, whether the documents can be checked or not. Now comes the account aggregator structure in between. So on this side is the people who can give credit, the loan, and on this side are the people who need a loan, right? A small micro enterprise on the streets of a city, right? चाय बनाने वाला ये व्यक्ति, भोपाल का है फोटो, राइट? देखो आप इसके कितने सारे आगे लगे हुए हैं. ये तो मेरे ख्याल से किसी बड़े अमेरिका के स्टोर में जाओगे तो जैसे दिखता था ना कि वीजा का एक लगेगा, मास्टर का एक लगेगा फोटो, वैसा ही यहाँ पे यू कैन सी वेरी क्लियरली देयर आर सो मेनी मल्टीपल क्यूआर कोड्स, पेटीएम का भी, फोन पे का भी, भीम का भी, सबका. दैट्स द पावर, राइट? So the account aggregator basically intermediates between the people who need loan and the people who can provide loan. And the fundamental structure is what is the payment history. So UPI gives that, verification is done online, and in a very, very privacy protected method, people who need $10 loan for 3 days are today getting the same access to credit that a big industrialist would be needing $100 million ka loan. So today, because of our Prime Minister's clear focus on democratizing technology, the big industrialist and the small micro entrepreneur, they are equal today. That's the beauty of this structure. And the world over, people are looking at this as the most inclusive example of digital technology. Most inclusive example of digital technology. I'll go to the next point, which is our future, which is where we need to really put our focus and make sure that our future is secured. About semiconductors. Very interesting. The world is today noticing this. June 23, our Prime Minister signs the agreement with the US President for a company called Micron to set up their plant in India. June 20, just mark the dates. Mark the dates. June 23 is when the agreement gets signed and the proposal gets approved. September 23 is when the groundbreaking happens. How many days? Less than 100 days. Less than 100 days. And would you believe this is the level of construction in December 23? That's the pace at which Prime Minister Modi ji's Sankalp for Vikasit Bharat is working. On ground, right? This is real data, real pictures on ground, complete plant. Close to 5,000 people are working to construct it at a rapid pace, torrid pace. And today people are giving examples of many other geographies. Announcement is, okay, after 2 years, 3 years, maybe, somewhere the construction will start. No, not in India. And in India, announcement happens, within 100 days, construction also starts. I'll talk a little bit about chip designing, chip architecture, the whole value chain, how our Prime Minister has given us a clear mandate that don't look at simply setting up a fab, don't look at simply setting up a plant. Think of the entire value chain and think of a 20-year roadmap. Then only we'll be able to do justice to our country's talent and to our future. We have close to 3 lakh design engineers. So building upon this, manufacturing is the next logical way. So I'll talk a little bit about how chips are made. So this is sand, right? This sand is molten to make silicon ingots. This is an ingot. This will be cut to make wafers, right? वैसे आलू से सोना बनाने वाले कुछ लोग हैं. On this wafer, you basically apply multiple layers of photoresistors and metals and try to create a structure where exactly what you want to publish gets published, right? Exactly what you print gets printed on. And it's a very, very fine work. It really requires very, very significant precision. ये नाखून की नोक है, इसका 1 लाख गुना फाइन काम इसमें होता है. So this is what happens when a wafer comes, then you sort it out, you pick the small little die out of it, then you make the chip using that die. That's the complete value chain. And that goes into multiple things, practically everything that we use, right? This becomes the circuit which goes into chips, which goes into practically everything that we manufacture. Now, our focus is, our Prime Minister's clear vision is, we must create this entire value chain in India. We should not leave ourselves vulnerable to any supply chain shocks in future. So, from getting the ingot done, from getting the wafer manufactured, to getting the wafer fab done, to getting the entire operation in a proper mechanism, and getting the final chip done, we are working on practically every aspect of this value chain, right? And today, because of the recent approvals by Prime Minister Modi ji, today we have the complete value chain from chip design to chip fabrication to getting the ATMP done so that it can be converted into a usable module which goes into practically everything, right? So when we look at this, the design, fab, ATMP, below that we are looking at augmenting our talent pool. We are a talent nation. We are a nation which has practically designed every complex chip in the world, but for somebody else. Now is the time when we should design our own products. From being a back office, now we are transitioning to becoming a product nation. From being a GCC, we are now transitioning into having our own products, our own IPR, our own contribution to the world as complete chipset. Along with comes the entire supply ecosystem, which is close to 16,000 items go into making a chip. I was looking at the periodic table. Science wale kaun hai yahan pe? Quite a few, right? Periodic table. Sare ke sare elements are used in this. Practically every element, maybe some of them maybe not used, but practically every other element is used in chip making. And this goes into everything that you see here requires a semiconductor, right? This guy would be needing something like 30,000 chips, right? Vande Bharat. This would be looking at something like 3,000 or 4,000 chips. That's the magnitude of semiconductor requirement. We are very fortunate to have a very visionary Prime Minister who has given us a clear mandate of using technology. I gave these 3 examples today to share with you where we are today, what we are thinking in the coming days. In Prime Minister Modi ji's 3rd term, India will emerge as a major product nation, as a major manufacturing hub, and a major technology power. Thank you.
I just wanted to say thank you to the Minister. Mr. Minister, we talk about how the country is changing. That we have such a qualified person like you making, it's amazing. The kind of talent that has been brought into the government by the Honorable Prime Minister, but also the honesty, integrity and professionalism with which the Honorable Minister has made this presentation for all of us. I think he deserves a standing round of applause for that. Thank you, Ashwini ji.
Thank you.
All the best to you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you.